of politicians, which is not the case actually, but that's what is perceived, and I'm not blaming anyone but ourselves, because that's what we project. Because it's a country that has given us Tchaikovsky and given us Dostoevsky and Tolstoy and Ayvazovsky and great literature, great theatre, great filmmaking.
What's going to happen to Mr. Khodorkovsky?
Well, there's been some talk about shortening his prison sentence. I think we're now at a crossroads since Mr. Putin was inaugurated. He could go either way, and I think it's an important time for him to decide which way he goes, because he could go the way of bringing Russia back to its democratic shoots that were emerging in the 90s, and focusing more on freedoms.
Does he have that instinct?
I think he's a clever man, and seeing what's happening in Russia, seeing what's happening in the Middle East, seeing what's happening in Syria, and the situation with Russia has been very different in the last few months than it was, say, a year or 2 years ago. When you had 100,000 people come out in the street, it didn't seem so significant to demonstrate. I mean, a lot of them may have been arrested, but it was always the same. It was the usual suspects every time.
Right.
Whereas now it's been tens and sometimes hundreds of thousands of people on the street, and now there's this Occupy movement that's been on the street for days. And interestingly, it hasn't been removed by force. There's been some arrests, but they're actually allowed to stay where they are. So I think it's a great sign, and it's a great it's a great possibility that's given to our new president to actually see what the people want and take it into account.
And so he may be listening.
He may be listening. I hope he's listening.
There is also the question of, when you look at where Russia is, the influence it could have. If you look at critical questions on Iran, on Syria, Russia could play a huge role. Right now, the role is mixed.
Absolutely. I think it's the position that Russia takes on world stage is hugely important, and then has been taking some controversial and some very unpopular stances on Iran, on Syria, and I think the first moves of our new president deciding not to go to the G8, and Barack Obama vice versa, saying that he's not going to go to the Asia-Pacific Summit in Vladivostok. It's not a good start, but my belief is that still there is a possibility to build good relationships, as with America, as well as with Britain, as well as with the rest of the world.
It is said that Obama had a very good relationship with Medvedev,
yes,
who is now the Prime Minister, about to be.
Yes, and I hope that can be built on, as well as with Britain.
So you go to Britain and you get an education there, and you become a British citizen. And then you buy the Evening Standard.
Yes.
What was the state of the Evening Standard when you bought it?
The Evening Standard was on its knees. I can't really say it in any other way, because it was there was actually a date set for closure, and it was going to be closed down if it wasn't sold. And I think for the owner of the time, Jonathan Rothermere, it would have been more painful to close it than it was to sell it.
So you were a savior in a sense, because no one else was standing in line to buy it.
I won't say that, but
well,
if you say so, yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, how many people were standing in line to buy the Evening Standard?
There was nobody else.
Rupert Murdoch wasn't interested in it.
No, as far as I know, there was nobody else.
Exactly.
In line.
So it is said the first thing you did was, one of the early things you did after getting your hands on it, was to make it free.
Yes, I think what you have to do these days, when everybody is saying that print product is dying and all the viewers, all the readers are migrating online, what you have to do in order to survive in print media is you have to look innovatively and imaginatively at different possibilities and what is it you can do. And I think it's still possible to exist in print media, as well as focusing on the digital, as well as focusing on tablets. And what we've done is we've decided that the only way to save the Evening Standard was to take it free, and then to exist on a advertising-only business model, which has worked very well. And I think what we've done is we've proven all those critics who said we're absolutely mad to buy it in the first place, and B, absolutely mad to take it free. They were all proven wrong, and it's doing very well.
It's now profitable.
It was losing £30 million annually when we bought it, and now it's just about to break even this year. And from then on, we're building onto a profit. So,
and then there was the Independent.
Then there was the Independent, which is a newspaper that I greatly